Hello, are we on the same page? Are we on the same page, please?
Yes, we are, but sorry, I got a pop-up that the call will end in 15 minutes. Maybe you have to check from your end what's happening.
Yeah, okay. I guess it's requesting me because of the population, it's requesting me now to subscribe. But no problem, I will quickly regenerate another link and then send it across for you to rejoin the class.
Okay.
All right, so let's go ahead. I should be done with this in the next 15 minutes with the first in, first out approach. So on 10 of 9, right? 20xx, I have what? So thank you for your patience. I really appreciate you. God bless you. So we have purchases, right? So we have 400 units, right? And the price is 280,
280.
and the amount will now be 280 times 400, right? And for your balance, the quantity will then be what you have before plus the unit 400, right? And for the amount, you will have 230 plus 412,000. Do you understand? Hello?
Yes, we do.
I'm trying now.
Yeah, so on 15th,
No.
9, 20xx. Are you saying no? We have issues? Issued to Alaba Secondary School. And Alaba Secondary School, the issue price is what? 600. It's 600 units. Now, are we together? The issue unit is 600 units. But in this approach, you are using first in, first out approach. So it means don't forget here, I have 320 units at 250 naira. Alright? So it means I will issue the first among the 600. I'm going to issue the first 320 units at 600 naira, and the amount to be this times this, right? And then I have a balance to make up 600. The balance to make up 600 is 600 minus 320, and that should give you something that looks like 280, abi? So the 280 will now be issued at 300 naira. So I have 300 times 280. And if you have that, so it means your balance here, you have a total of this, right? So at the balance unit, you have this 1220
Sir.
minus this that you've issued out, and you have this 342 minus the 276 that you have issued out. Do we have any question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What's the question?
So I want to ask, why are you using 600 for the
So it should be 250.
320? Exactly,
Yeah.
250.
It should be typographical error, something like that. But are we clear on that? Are we clear on that?
Oh,
Eh?
No, sir. Can you please take the
you are
issue
not clear.
again?
Can you explain the calculation all
Can
over
you
again,
explain
please?
the issue again, the
This
calculation?
issue, we have 600 units to be issued. And what we are doing is first in, first out approach. Meaning the one you have in stock first will be issued out first. So it means out of the 600, you can only conveniently take 320 from the first one. So you take 320 at the 250 naira that you had it, right? And then to complete 600, you have 280 units left. So you do 280 times 300, and that will give you 84,000. And that gives you a total of 164,000 for issue. So it means that to make up the 600 that you have to issue 320 at the first price and the balance at the next price. Does it make sense to you? Hello?
Uh,
I
Does it make sense to you, please?
yes.
Okay, so we have 29, 20 XX. So from 29, 20 XX, I have purchases, right? So I'm purchasing 300 units, right? At 260 per unit. And I have this times this, right? So it means for the balance, I now have 620 units plus 300 units. Do you understand? And for the amount, I have this plus the 78,000 I just newly got, right? And then on the 25th, 9, 20XX. So I have issues. So big grammar school. And that is issues. So the total number of units they are issuing is 500 units. Don't forget that this 320 unit that you have is already cancelled out. You don't have anything here left again. Out of this 500, you've issued 280 already. So you have 500 minus 280 left. Does it make sense to you? So it means out of these 500 units that you have, what you'll have left is 220 units. Do you understand? So you say 220 units. So you're issuing the 220 at 300 naira. And what you want to issue out is 500. To complete 500, you have 280 left. And 280 will be at uh 280 will be at what amount? At 280 naira. Right? So here I have this 300 times 220, and here I have this times this. So it means here I have, right? And for there I have this minus this, right? And I have this minus this. Does it make sense to you? Does it make sense to you?
Sorry, please, can you come again at that place where you did the minus? Are you see what you minus from what?
Okay, so I minus 256,000. So I minus 256,000 minus 164,000, right?
Please, I want to eat rice, so
Okay, go eat rice. So
okay.
here I did 920 minus
I was
500.
19 Indomie.
Do you understand?
What about you?
Sorry, the
Hello.
person that is speaking,
Okay.
please, can you but reach your mic so I can hear, please? Sorry.
So we have total. So total issue, total receipt here is what? I'm just trying to balance it up. So here you have, right? So it means the balance carried down is this 420, and here you have 87 600. Any question, please?
Yes, so please can you explain all over again?
More all over again, yellow far. But let me try. So let's start from opening balance. The opening balance is what I have in the question, right? And the opening balance is 320 at 250 naira. And if you do 320 times 250, you have 80,000. Then there was a purchase of 500 times 300, right? And if you do 500 times 300, you have 150,000. Also on the 10th, you have 400 at 280 naira, and that gave me 112,000. So on 15th of September, there was an issue, and the issue was, are we together, please? 320.
Yes, please.
Now, they are doing 600 units. So out of the 600 units, you can only comfortably take 320 at the first price, and you take the balance from the second. So you have 320 times 250 for 80,000. And then here you have 280 times 300, and that gives us 84,000, right? And if you add 320 plus 280, you should have 600. And if you add 80 plus 84, you have 164. So to get the balance, what I did was just to deduct the amount I issued from the previous balance. So I did 1220 minus 600, and I did 342,000 minus 178,000. Are we on the same page, please? So you have 920 and 256,000. So for purchases, sorry, you have on 29 there was 300 units at 260 naira, and that gave us 78,000. So we are now doing this 620 plus the 300, and you have 920,000, and 178,000 plus 78 gave me 256,000. And in the next period, I have purchases again. I did that. And for issues, so for 500, out of these 500 that I have left, I have taken 280 out already. So I have 220 left. So I have 220 times 300 at 90,000, and 280 times 280 at 78,400. And that's how I got my closing balance. So what I just did at the end of the day was just to add everything up to get the actual amount. Any question, please? Any question, please? Any question, please?
None for now.
Okay. So, this is the elementary stage to it. I'm still going to get into some crucial stuffs tonight, by God's grace. So let me then use, it's just that it will be hard for me to assume that everybody knows this approach. So I want to now do the last in, first out approach, right? For the last in, first out approach, nothing is wrong with your purchase opening balance. Your purchases is going to be the same thing, right? All your purchases. But where the issue is going to be will be the issues, right? So let me just, are we on the same page, please? Hello? Hello? Thank you for joining. Okay. Sorry, so please you can mute your video. We like your background, but mute your video. Except anyways, that affect. So I can go ahead, Abby.
Please, we can.
That sounds like favor. Is that favor?
No, it's not evil.
Oh, can I make somebody a cookie and be admitting her? You know what? Hello, Shebi. When somebody wants to join, it pops up for everybody, Abby.
Nope.
It doesn't pop up for everybody.
No, it's supposed to be for the
Ah, let me see. Ah, okay, no worries. We continue in the name of the Lord. So I was saying that for this, we don't really have big deal for. Hey, I wish it pops up for everybody. Oh. I think if I should pair my ties, does it? Because I'm not seeing making calls or all these Zoom options here. Anyway, okay. So I think I can go ahead, right?
Sorry, will it be recorded?
Yeah, it's recorded, but that does not mean you should go
Thank
offline.
you.
No,
Sure. Yes, thank you. I appreciate.
yeah, but it's recorded. It doesn't mean you should go offline, but it's recorded. All right. So now we have issues. So the issues I have is 600 units. I know for this approach, the last will be the first to be issued out, right? The last will be the first to be issued out, right? So for the units, I have 600 units to Alaba, 600 units to Alaba. So I'm doing 600. Out of the 600, I can only take 400 conveniently. So I'll take 400 and the price is 280, right? So if you do the amount, you have 280 times 400, right? And then you have 200 units to complete 600. So the 200 units will be taken from 500. So you have 200 at 300 naira. And this give me this times this. So you have
Please, which one are you doing now?
last in first out.
Still, like, it's like you didn't start from the beginning or what?
For last in first out, the opening balance is the same thing from the beginning. The purchases is the same thing, the
It
same thing. Where
isn't
we have issues,
500 sheets.
what do you say?
The last issue is not 500 sheets and
No,
not
it's 600
600.
sheets. This is the first issue. This one I'm treating. This one I'm treating.
Sorry, I get what she's saying. The last issue is 500 sheets. Is that not the one that will go out first?
No, you've not gotten to that. You are still following the same date.
You start from the top.
On the 15th came before 25th. Do you
Sorry, we
understand?
can't hear you well. I don't know if it's just me, but I couldn't hear anything you said.
I was saying that on the 25th, on the 15th came before 25th. So because 15 came before 25th, right? You are going to treat 15th first before you treat 25th. The idea of last in first out came from the idea of the one you purchased last will be the first one to be given out. Do you understand?
Okay.
Hello. So
Okay.
the
Not issue now, purchases. Okay.
what do you say?
I said not issued, but purchases. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, you get it. So now you have 600 units. So out of the 600 units, you can pick 400 conveniently from this first one, right? Then, since you've picked 400 conveniently at 280, you are going to go to the next last one. Do you understand? This one is actually following this principle of the last one will be the first and the first will be the last. Do you understand? No, there's this common saying that the first shall be the last and the last shall be the first. So the saying is that the last purchases shall be the first to be
Okay,
issued out.
sorry. Apology. Like so, in this case of last in first out, so is the purchases that is going to be affected, not the issue.
Not the issue. So you are issuing at the last purchased price. Look, that's the best way to be able to.
Okay,
You are issuing
okay,
at the
okay,
last purchased price. Does it make
okay.
sense to you?
Thank you.
You're
Yes.
welcome.
Is it last purchase price before the issue or after
Yes,
the
last
issue?
purchase price before the issue. Do you get the gist? You are issuing at the last
Okay, you
purchase
can go
price.
on. Yes.
Yeah, so here I have this minus this, and here I have this minus this, right? Then on the 29, I have purchases, right? Purchases have no long story. For purchases, you have 300 units at 260 naira, and that's 260 times 300, right? So I'll come to my balance and add it up. So I have 620 plus 300, right? And for the balance, I have 170 plus 78,000. Does it make sense to you? Then on 25th 9, I have issues, right? Issues to big grammar school. So for issues to big grammar school, I'm issuing 500 units, right? Are we on the same page, please?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Because this silence could mean that I'm not safe like that. So now, out of 500, you have 300 here, which is the last purchases before the issues. So you do 300 and 300 times what? 260. So you have 260
Yeah,
times
going to six.
300, right?
Okay.
And for the next quantity, you have 200 remaining to balance up, right? Are we on the same page?
Four.
Are we
Please,
on the same
somebody said
page?
not
Don't make
clear. Is it your mic? Oh,
Are we on the same page? Now, I've issued 300. Don't forget that when
If you
I
don't
have
mind, can you recap from the
from the I can hear you, please go ahead. Hello? Do I lost your connection? Hello, am I safe? Hello?
We couldn't hear you before, but
You couldn't hear me?
yes. I couldn't hear you before.
Oh, what did you hear last?
you were
We're
trying
trying
to
to
explain
explain the
something?
first issue.
So I was saying that for the issues, I've done 300 already. But don't forget that I have issued out the whole of the 400. Yeah. right? I've issued out the whole of the 400. Out of this 500 here, I have also issued out 200 units, right? But what I need remaining is 200 units here. Do you understand? What I need to complete 500 is 200 units. So I will say 200 to make the 500, but I will be issuing at 300 at this for this remaining 500 here. Hope I'm not speaking Spanish. Do you understand?
Kind of.
All right. So good. I want to believe kind of is saying yes, right? So it means for total, my total receipt is this, right?
I get you, sir.
Thank you for getting me. Right. So here you have. So it means here you have the balance of 920 minus 500. Here you have this minus, right? And here your issue is what? Are we together, please?
Yes, we are.
Any question? Any question?
Yes, sir.
No question,
So,
Abby?
sir, I have a question, sir.
Please go ahead.
Let's assume this scenario that we have a purchase and then we have issue. And then let me say we are not able to cover up that issue from the purchase. And then after that issue, it happens that we have two purchases. Now, is it from the second purchase, the very last purchase will take the remaining one for the issue?
You cannot give what you don't have.
I don't understand.
You didn't have it, so you can't issue it. So it's until you
No, no.
have before you issue.
Okay, now see, sir, this is what I said, because my screen is kind of small, but just to confirm if what I actually gained is the right thing. Okay, let's assume you have purchase on the 1st of October, we have the purchase, and then 2nd of October we have an issue. And let's say the issue is more than what we purchased earlier, we still have outstanding. Then
Yes.
on the 3rd of October we have a purchase. Now, from the question, we did not have another issue. So now, what I'm saying is that is it until we exhaust the purchases we have and come to issue before we will take off any outstanding we have?
I don't understand what you mean by outstanding. Are you saying
One,
that? Let me try to rephrase what you're asking to
okay,
see if I understand what you're asking me.
All
right?
right.
Now, I guess what you are saying is, let's assume that you have purchases here 500, right? Then you have the next purchases, but instead of these purchases, let's say you have 600 units here,
Okay.
and you've exhausted the first purchases, right?
Yes.
But you still have left here.
Yes.
You go to the one you have left.
No, let me ask you, we don't have up. There's no one up. Just
That's what I'm
let's say the
saying.
500.
There's no question that we give you, because the assumption is you can only issue from what you have in stock.
Okay. Okay. So
That's
that
what
means
I meant
whatever we
by
are.
you. That's what I meant by you cannot give what you don't have.
Okay. Okay. All right, sir.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
you're welcome. You do all right, ba? So
Yes, I'm good.
yeah, the next thing I want to
Please,
do.
all these parts that you highlighted on the question, network actually locked me out, and I don't know why. Why did you highlight them?
I was just using
The
it to
one with the
explain. No, don't mind my highlighting.
purple.
It's just that I'm used to highlighting. Don't mind it. Do you get? It was just to show the figures. That's why I was just highlighting. No, no, nothing serious, really.
So you started from issue, like the purchase after the first issue, and then you went round, right?
Yeah,
Down to the down to 25th.
exactly. I want to assume I understand what you're saying. Yes.
Okay, what I mean is you started from the purchases after the first issue, then you went to the second purchases up,
For last in, first
and
out.
then you came back to the issue down. Yes. Is that what you did?
No. For the last issue, what I did was I exhausted this first. But don't forget I've consumed this one when I was giving to this guy. Do you understand? So I now went to this place to go and take up my balance.
Okay.
Do you understand?
I'm trying to understand.
Mm. Am I too fast?
Watch the record. Watch the record later.
No wahala. So let's go ahead. So for the next one, the opening balance is the same, purchase is the same, nothing changes. But now the issue will be at the average price, right? Do we agree that the issue will be at the average price? So on 15 of September 20XX, I have issues, right? And I'm issuing 600 units. So the question is the price. So the price will be 280 plus 300 plus 320, and they all occurred three times, Abi. You understand?
No, is it 320 or 250?
Sorry, 250. Oh, sorry. 250. Oh, 250, beg your pardon. Right? Divided
Sorry,
by 3. Do you
sorry,
understand?
sir. On my screen, I can see 280 and 300.
What do you say? I didn't get you.
I can't see where you're getting 250 from. I can only see 300 and 280 at the
This,
receipt side.
yeah, this is the 250 I'm getting.
Yeah, same here.
The opening balance
Okay.
was valued at
All right,
50
sir.
naira.
Okay,
Do
sir.
you
Okay.
understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I
Yes,
do.
sir.
So the amount here will now be this times send you this suggestion. So maybe this times this, right? And so the quantity remaining will be this minus this, and I have this minus this. Do you understand?
Please, sir, if you do not mind, recap from the remaining quantity. I couldn't get you the way you moved your cursor.
Which place is that?
For the remaining balance for that after what you deducted from 276, I don't know, for the amount,
No,
and
so what I
then
did was 1220 minus 600 and 342,000 minus 166,000. Remember, when it is issue, you deduct it from the balance. When it is purchases, you add it to the balance.
yeah, all right, sir.
Yeah, that's what it is. So the next thing we now have is 29, right? 20xx. Then we have purchases, right? And the purchases is 300 units at 260 bar. So it means you have this times this. Don't tell me it's fully for a deal. This, sorry, plus.
Please, I think it's better you call the name as in the figure, like
So
280 minus this instead of
176,000,
hello,
yes, plus
hello. Can you hear me?
78,000. Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I was saying that it's better you call the figure instead of saying this minus this, because it's not everybody that is seeing the cursor clearly.
Oh,
Probably when you call the figure, at least we'll know what you're talking about. But saying this minus this, we're not really getting it.
okay, sorry about that. So I'm doing
Thank you.
176,000 plus 78,000. Do you understand? And for the balance, I'm doing 620 plus 2 or plus 300. So the final one on the 25th, 9, 20xx, I have issues, right? So I'm issuing 500 units. But this time, I want to determine the issue price. So the issue price will be 260 plus 280 plus 300 plus 250, right? All divided by 4 this time. So you then have this times 136,250. So then you have this minus this. Sorry, you have 920 for the balance. Then you have on the 31, 9, you have balance. For here, sorry, you have 500 minus 920, and you have 2500 minus 136, 250. So your total here would be for total. You have right. Sorry, am I alone?
Kind of.
Ah,
Yeah, no.
I'm alone.
Yeah, no.
So that is that about this. Don't worry, I'm very sure you get to the. I'm sure you are bored with this already. So we'll get to the next interesting part of the story. So we have this, but now what I want to do is weighted average price method. And for the weighted average price method, my opening balance is the same, my issues are the same, my opening balance is the same, right? My issues, my purchases are the same. So now the next thing I want to determine is the issue price on the 15th, right? So two, the amount of issue here is on the weighted average price method, but we are issuing 600 units, right? If you are issuing 600 units, now the best approach to use for this is to divide the total amount to determine the price. Divide the total amount by the total quantity. So you have 342,000 divided by 1,220, right? And so the amount will be this. That's 280.33 times 600. Do you get it to this extent? So you have 1220 minus 600, and you have 342,000 minus 168,197. Are we on the same page, please?
Don't think so.
So where did we stop? I mean, which page are you? So that we can fast track, we can move ourselves to the destination. Hello, hello.
You can go ahead, please.
Okay, no worries. Are we on the same page? So we
No,
have,
sir, please. Somehow I was lost due to network, please, sir. I'm sorry. Just help recap, please.
yes. So for the issue, the issue price has always been a bone of contention. So for the issue price, what you are doing is the total amount divided by the quantity to get your new issue price. And that will be 342,000 minus divided by 1,220, and that gives you 280.33. And you multiply that by 600, you have 168,196.7. Then you have 25, 9, 20xx. We have purchases, and the purchases is how much? 300, 260, this, right? And so the balance will be 620 plus 300, and for here you have 173,802 plus, oh, sorry, all you have here should be times, and then you have on the 25th 9 20xx, we have issues, and the issues are, we have 500, right, units. And for 500 units, the amount will then be your usual total amount. In this case, it is 251,803 divided by 920, and that gave us 273.699. And you do, for you to get the amount, you multiply the price by the quantity, and that gave us this, right? So it means at the end of the day you have total, you have wetin sup now. Ah, right, so that is all about inventory valuation. Any question, please?
No.
So if in the absence of any question, so with that we are done with inventory valuation. So let's then move to inventory accounting. So for inventory accounting, an entity is expected to have the purchase journal or the inventory cost book, the issues journal or inventory issue summary, the inventory ledger or the store ledger, the shortfall and excess or price adjustment account, and also the claim account. And at the end of the year, is expected to have an annual balance statement. At the end of the year, is expected to have an annual balance statement. And here you have the format for an annual balance statement. You have value of inventories on hand at the beginning on the debit side. Then you have inventories taken on charge during the year at prices on the debit. On the credit, you have inventory issued during the year at the fixed price. Also, you have inventories written off against the shortfall and excesses account. So basically, this is the format. And the funny thing about it is that it is self-balancing. By self-balancing, I mean that once you do all these items correctly, you should have the same balance irrespective of anything you have in the question. And also you have the shortfall and excess account. This is the format, right? Are we on the same page, please? No. Hello? Hello?
We are with you, sir.
I'm listening to you.
Are are you tired?
Now,
Okay, good.
You can hear you.
So for the payment account, you have payment as per abstract on the debit, less payment in respect of inventory takings on charge on the debit, less expenditure credit for claims met, less transfers to UA inventories deficiency subhead, that's unallocated inventory deficiency subhead, then total price during the year. Then on the credit side, you have inventories taken on charge at the fixed price as per inventories account, total price deficiency, value of claims raised during the year, and any adjustments, if any. And also you have the stock claim account, which has value of claim brought forward from the previous year on the debit side, value of claims raised during the year on the debit side, claims met during the year on the credit, values of claims abandoned and written off subject to shortfall and excesses account on the credit, unallocated inventory deficiency subhead on the credit, and then you have values of claims carried forward. And then you have the use of shortfall and excess price adjustment account. Number one, the reason why we do adjustment is for us to accommodate the difference between the total cost and the fixed prices of issues. Number two is to accommodate the value of inventories and found surplus. Number three is to accommodate the value. Number three is to accommodate the value of minor discrepancies. Number four is to accommodate the value of unserviceable inventories written off in the inventory ledger. And number five would be to accommodate increase or decrease in the valuation of inventory on change or fixed price. Are we on the same page, please?
sir, is it
Yes.
possible for you to just create a short story for us where you just fix the storyline into each of those table? Because
Yes.
somehow
I,
some.
I'm going to do that. That's the essence of this illustration that you have.
Hello, sir.
Here you please.
Okay. So what I wanted to say is I don't know, like for the serious kind of questions I want to solve. I don't know if you can leave it in when you come to class because I don't this online like calculation is somehow.
The thing is, the exam is next month, and we still have a lot to do. And I'll be distorting. You guys are not together in the same class. This class is for stream one and stream two, and we still have other topics that I've not even dealt with in the class. Do you understand?
Maybe you can keep the calculation aspect of it. So when we be in class, so it's every part to be
Do you
on
understand my
online like
advice?
this. We understand you, but the calculation is not really flowing well.
Are we on the same page, please? that person joining. Are we on the same page, please, before we go ahead?
So you can continue.
Okay, so well, these calculations are not
Since you're
serious.
recording it.
These calculations are not something serious. Can somebody please help me read?
Agbaye,
Agbayewa
continue.
Agbayewa State Ministry of Works produced furniture for classroom and offices. During the year 2013, the following information were extracted from the production department. We have total cost value and our net realizable value. So we have value of store on hand on the 1st of January 2013. We have store taken on charge during the year, store surplus taken on charge, store revaluation on charge, store issued during the year, store written off during the year, shortfall and excess, store differences account, and store revaluation. Required: prepare unallocated store annual balance statement. B, I can't really see the B, sir. The B part of it. You have a notification blocking it. So B says value of stores at the end of the year, stating your reasons.
So now to do this, it is very simple. No thinking required, right? So all we just need to do is to open our annual balance statement, right? Our annual balance statement at the end of the year. So let me just do that to explain what we have. Right? So what's the name of the question? Agbayewa Ministry of Works, Abi.
Yeah.
Agbayewa Ministry of Works. And what we asked to do is unallocated store in our ministry. So, furniture production. Then we are doing the T account, right? So we have the annual balance statement as that. What's the accounting year end? 31st December 2013,
13.
right? So here we have a Naira sign here. All figures denoted in thousands. 10 o'clock. right? Right? Are we on the same page? So the first thing we want to do is the total value cost is what we are using. Are we on the same page? For the annual balance statement, we are using the total value cost, right? Because the standard says that inventory should be measured at lower of cost and neutralizable value. That's IPSAS 2, right? So you are using the lower of the total cost value and the neutralizable value. And if you notice in this question, you will notice that the total value cost here is lower than the neutralizable value. So in that case, I'm using the total cost value. Is that clear enough? Is that clear enough, please?
Please
So
come
Yeah, it
again.
is.
the standard says inventory should be measured at lower of cost and neutralizable value, right? So for that reason, you will notice that value of store on hand, you have 246 and 250. 246 is lower than 250. Store taking on charge, you have 720 and 750. 720 is lower than 750. Also, store surplus taken on charge, 3,000 is lower than 310,000. So you use 3,000. Also, store revaluation on charge, 17,100 is lower than 17,500. So you use 17,100. Store issue during the year, you have 825 and 850, so you use 825. For the shortfall and excesses, you have 527 and 600, you use 527. For store deficiencies, for store differences, sorry, you have 493 and 500, so you use 493. So you are using lower of cost and neutralizable value. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yes,
Low.
sir.
Yes.
So if you look at the format you were given, what you have on the debit side is value of store at the year. And you will recall that inventory or store are assets. They are current assets. So it's expected to have debit balance. So value of inventory on hand on 1/1/2013. How much is it, please? 246,000.
240,000.
It's 246, may I see you?
Yeah, 246.
Then store taking on charge during the year. Store taking on charge during the year is expected to increase your value of inventory, right? So you have debit side store taking on charge during the year. Figure me, please. You have 720,000, right?
Yeah.
Are we on the same page?
Yes.
Then we have
Yeah,
store
we are.
surplus taking on charge. Store surplus taking on charge is also going to increase the value of inventory, right? So it is going to be on the debit side. So we have store, which is the same thing, inventory surplus taking on charge. Inventory surplus taking on charge. On the debit side, so you have 3,000. Then the next thing we have is store revaluation. The revaluation increase on store is also going to increase the value of inventory, right? So it is going to be on the debit side. So store revaluation is what? 17,100. Is that clear enough? Then, is that clear enough? Hello? Hello, is that clear enough?
So I can't hear you.
I was saying that the store revaluation, 17,100, is going to increase the value of inventory, and so it will be on the debit side. But now, store issued during the year.
So we can't hear you if you're speaking though.
Store issued during the year, right? You know, when you issue something, it's going to leave your store. So it's going to reduce your balance on the annual balance statement. So it's going to be on the credit side, and that is 825,000, right? The next thing we then have is store written off during the year, right? And the store written off during the year is going to be, we have A, short for and XX account. Once it is written off, it's going to reduce the balance, right? So you have 527. And also you have II, that's your store differences account, and that's 493, right? Any question? Then we have also short for we have store evaluation. On the store evaluation written off, hello, can you hear me please? Hello.
The line is breaking.
Can I hear you?
Okay, good. Sorry about that. So if you do total of this, total for this one, who will total me please? So we have this, right? The debit side must be equal to the credit side, right? But if you notice here, they are not the same thing. So the difference now is value of store on hand, on hand, and you know it's supposed to be the balancing figure, and that will be uh 826039. So I have this 986,100 minus 826039 in absolute figure. Sorry. So do you understand? This is just supposed to be a working note.
Please, your voice is breaking, sir. Am I the only one experiencing this?
So hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So determination of value of store, I have debits, balances, 986. You really do not need all this, so it's just me that I like stress, so because what you have is just the balancing figure. Value of
Hello,
store
sir. I can't.
on hand, value of store on hand now is 986,100 minus 826,069. So we have 160,061. 160,006. Just to make sure the debit side is equal to the debit credit side. So here you just have balancing figure. Is that clear enough, please? Is that clear enough, please?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good. All right, so that's that about annual balance statement. So B is saying that value of stores at the end of the year. So what's the value of store at the end of the year? The value of store at the end of the year is this amount, the balancing figure. Just you, or if you are to be in the exam, just state this balance here, and you tell them that your basis is that the standard is saying that's the reason they're asking. B part, value of store at the end is 160,061, right? If SAS states that SAS 12 states that inventory should be measured at lower of cost and NRV. Do you understand?
Yes.
Any question?
All the call goes somewhere.
Any question, please? So in the
Well, your
abs,
voice has been breaking.
are you sure? Is it a general problem or is only a? Hello? Oh, hello? Hello? So that's the idea of that. So let's quickly move on to another interesting part. What is on to say about boring? So let's quickly look into a crucial part of the topic. So Are we on the same page, please? Sorry, did you get my last solution? Hello?
Yes, we did.
Okay, good. So at at your leisure, you can just read up these stuffs here on your own. The functions of a storekeeper basically is to maintain proper books of accounts, to keep diligent arrangement of the store, ensure cleanliness of the store, invitation of purchase requisition for needy contract and all of that. And also you have procedures for inventories procurement. You have to obtain approval. Also, I want to believe you've done the the idea you've done loss of store. Have you done loss of store and loss of government funds? Hello,
I, I don't think so.
don't think so. But okay, don't worry. So here we have
No,
what is it?
we haven't.
Okay. So we want to look at what are the procedures for reporting loss of inventory, because the broad overview of what we want to discuss today, what we are discussing today, is accounting for inventory and also the treatment for the loss. So number one is you have to the authority for the write-off of loss of inventory is prerogative on the Minister of Finance, and the limited of degree of power to write off is delegated on the accounting officer and the accountant general. So the accountant general or the accounting officer can only write off inventory if the original cost or estimated value is not more than 20,000, or if the total value of items is not more than 100,000. Number two, if it has been proven that there is no weakness in the internal control system. Number three is if there is no evidence of fraud or theft. Number four is where negligence is involved. The accounting officer has been disciplined according to the laid down rules and regulations. And then, what are the actions that is expected to be taken of the officer in charge? The officer in charge is expected to report to the head of department, and then also report to the nearest police station in the case of fraud or theft. Then also initiate action on treasury form 146, and he will complete part one of the form and forward it to the head of department, and also ensure that if there are weaknesses in the internal control system, he reports the weaknesses and he makes amendments. Then we have in the notes what are the actions to be taken by head of department. I will send the notes to you so you can quickly just check it out on your own. So let's go to solve a question. So then we'll be looking at board of survey and board of inquiry in later time. Board of survey, board of inquiry. I'll be looking at that later. But I just want to quickly solve something interesting when it comes to. I will discuss IPSAS 12 too in the next class. I'll discuss IPSAS 12 next class. I just want to solve. So let's now move on to loss of government funds. What are the types of losses that we have? We have misappropriation of funds, falsification of records, conversion of funds to personal use, fraudulent payments, theft, negligence, abandonment of revenue receivable, abandonment of advance granted from recurrent expenditure, and then loss of cash. Then what are the responsibility of accounting officer in the case of loss of fund? Is expected to report, right? And then where it is below 50,000 naira, is expected to an accounting officer can raise a surcharge. And by raising a surcharge, we mean we can he can actually put place a deduction on the officer in charge account. But having said that, what are the accounting entries? The accounting entry is for loss of cash, debit non-personal advance account and credit cash account, For fraudulent payments, you debit non-personal advance account and credit relevant subbed account. Also, fraudulent payments or overpayments made in previous financial year charged against public fund other than CRF or development fund, you debit the non-personal advance account and credit the account originally debited, right? Then for abandonment of recovery of an amount, you debit loss of fund account and credit advance account. For recovery of an account earlier written off, you debit cash or bank account and then credit non-personal account. For overpayments not involving fraud, there is no adjustment to it. For abandonment of recovery of a bicycle advance, there is no adjustment to it. And for abandonment of recovery of an unpaid revenue note, no adjustment. So then we look at bank reconciliation statements. The bank reconciliation statement is that everybody knows what bank reconciliation statement is. So what I just want to do now is just to solve a question on bank reconciliation statement, and obviously I'm going to be picking a question from the past question, right? I'm going to be picking a past question and then solve. I know past question is going to interest you more because it looks like I'm been discussing theory. So I just want to quickly solve this. I'm solving in the case where you have past questions with you. The question is adapted from the first question I want to solve, which may be the last question depending on the mood, is adapted from number one, May 2018. May 2018, number one. That's the original. That's where I adapted the question from. So, who can help us read the question? Is anybody reading the question for us? Am I alone?
Can't really see your screen. You need to enlarge it.
So, it should be better now.
Yeah. Okay, I can read. It has become a very important task for accounting officers of ministries, departments, and agencies (MDAs) to pay more attention to and make regular checks for their corporations' cash books and bank accounts. Internal control system is usually put in place to prevent the possibility of committing errors and fraud. This has been more challenging and requires all accounting officers to be more knowledgeable in the act of keeping records. Every organization has to keep close watch on its bank account transactions to guard against fraud or the infiltration of extraneous entries.
Sorry, I got a notification that somebody wants to join the class. Like somebody have told these people that we are solving one serious question. Please go ahead.
Okay. This is done through regular preparation of bank reconciliation statements. As a result of widespread internet fraud, the accounting officer of the Ministry of Land and Housing, Alaji Maito Gabar, has been concerned with the ministry's banking transactions. In recent times, there have been challenges reconciling the ministry's banking transactions. There was no time the ministry's bank balance agreed with the cash book balance. However, there was no adequate information to suggest that there
Just
was
a minute,
fraud or
please. I need to get
manipulation of.
somebody in. Thank you. Please go ahead.
There was no time the ministry's bank balance agreed with the cash book balance. However, there was no adequate information to suggest that there was fraud or misappropriation of funds. Nonetheless, Alaji Maito Gaba invited you to his office for professional advice. He informed you that the Director of Finance of the ministry had been avoiding him on matters relating to the ministry's bank and cash position. He also informed you that he was able to retrieve some of the finance department data, which he handed over to you as detailed below. All figures assumed to be correct. Can you scroll down? We are required to prepare the unallocated store annual
No,
balance
that's not the
statement.
requirement. Oh. Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah.
So I will share this note with you so you can just read it at your leisure. But I'm still going to explain it as 12 to you in the next class. I'll do the accounting entry in the next class. And then I'll do that way. That's fine. So go ahead, please. Please go ahead.
Sorry, I can't see the. I can't. Oh, sorry. Okay, so we're required to prepare an adjusted cash book, prepare an appropriate reconciliation statement to show if any fraud was committed during the period, identify for statutory institutions that the suspicious cases could be reported to, state the procedures the ministry could follow to bring suspicious individuals to book in accordance with financial regulations 2502, and explain the related offenses that two of the statutory institutions can deal with in this case.
All right. I'm sure you have done bank continuous statement before. Just that I'm very sure. Right? Am I correct?
What's your question, sorry?
I said I am sure you guys have done bank continuous statement before.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. This is just for me to consolidate on that knowledge and then bring this topic to bear. Or have you solved this question before? Hello?
No, 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 sir. We've not solved it
No,
before.
sir.
No, no.
Now, the idea of when it comes to when you were doing cash management, you will recall that one of the books that the cash management office is expected to keep is bank constitution statement. And what bank constitution helps you do is to track your bank balance that are the same with the cash balance. And also it helps you to detect if there is any fraud, if any, right? So the idea is that at the end of the day, you should be able to determine if there is fraud through your bank constitution statement. So this examiner now is saying that you are in position to determine when the adjusted cash book. An adjusted cash book used to come into picture if there are omitted amounts or omitted item in the cash book originally prepared. So, and you know your cash book basically is a receipt and payment account. Yes or yes?
Yeah.
Good. So let's quickly first deal with that. So we have what's the name of the ministry?
Ministry of Land and Housing, I guess. Yeah.
Ministry of Land and Housing. So adjusted cash book for the year ended, right?
Yeah.
December
31st December.
31, 2017. After this question, we might need to rest and I will discuss with the governor to see, discuss with the governor and my colleague to see if the class is going to hold on Monday and who will be holding the class on Monday. But definitely you are going to be having PISA on Monday and Friday this next week. Now, So what is the cash book balance at the beginning of the year? What is the cash book balance at the beginning of the year?
21.5. 21
So we
5.
have balance brought forward. 21. Now, the next thing you need to do is to identify your receipts. So you can have, if you are the type that like putting heading, you can just put your receipts, but there's no mark for this. So your receipts are subvention received, right? Right? 55,000. You have interest on from investment, right? How much is interest from investment? 3,501.68, right?
Yes, sir.
Then you have rent on property. Rent on property is 11,300.35. You have ground rent, right? And the ground rent is how much? 16,801.00. Like this, Abby. Then you have savings deposit interest. Your savings deposit interest is 6281.00, like this, Abby. Then the next thing we have is grants for construction of estate. It's also an income, right? Are we still
Yes.
together?
Yes, sir.
51,601.5, right?
Yes, sir.
Then I have deposits for land, 19,000, right?
Point 60.
0.60. Then next thing I have is personnel cost. Is personnel cost an income?
Expenditure.
Good. So it means so I will say expenditure, right? So we have personnel cost. How much is the personnel cost?
36,801.00.
36,801.
36,801.00.
Yeah. I have travel and transport. Travel and transport is how much?
7,000.
7,000.4. Like this, Abby. Telephone services. Telephone service is how much? 2401.5, right?
Yeah.
Are we on the same page?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Repairs of property. That's how much is it? 4868.25.
4,865.
Then we have stationery.
901.86.
901.86. Then provision for water. Sorry, provision of water for estates. How much is that? 14,300.60. Right? Consultancy
Yeah.
services. How much consultancy services?
Three.
3,001.26, right?
Yeah.
Then we have training and staff development. Training and staff development is how much?
8,000.
1,001.56, right?
Yeah.
Auditing and staff development. That's how much? 1,500, right?
Yes, sir.
Then I have entertainment and hospitality. How much is it? 500, right? Then we have construction of estate, right? 35,607.58, right? Then you have construction of access roads. That's how much?
8.60.
8,400.6, right? And that is all with that, right? So here I can add my receipts together, right? If you figure me, you should get something around this figure, Abby. If you're able to figure this one too, you get something around here, right? So you have your opening balance plus your receipts. It's not fire rubbish. Plus this, right? Minus this. Do we understand it?
Yeah.
Do we get it to this extent? Do we get it to this extent?
Yes.
Now let's
Yes,
check
sir.
the additional information. You know, this is normal. This should be the normal balance at the end, right? Balance at the end. But let's check if there are items in the additional information that is affecting the cash book that was not earlier recognized in the cash book. They told us that we have 1,370 prospective landowners deposited 10,000 each, while 580 deposited 20,000 for high and low density areas of the estate respectively. We also told that included in payment for the construction of estates were various duplicated vouchers amounting to 9 million. The bank balance as per statement is 39,560. Uncredited check is 6.9. Unpresented check is 4.3. There were some falsification of bills for items bought for the provision of amount. Standing order here, right? You know, standing order is supposed to be your adjusted cash book, right? Are we on the same page? So you have your standing. Are we together, please?
We are.
Standing order is 200, 201, 500, Abi. But because all figures are in thousand, you do 201.5. Then we have bank charges and commissions. That's how much? 144.25. Right? So you do this
Sir,
plus that's, are we together, please?
please, sir, I want to know, do you have any reason for meeting the first two?
Yeah,
I'm moving to bank
the reason I
standing
omitted
order.
the reason I omitted these two is that now we were told that 1,370 prospective land owners. This amount here, it should have been received, but it is missing in our books. So the best way to treat this will be in your reconciliation statement. Also,
Okay.
this is actually a duplicated voucher. Another duplicated voucher should be affecting your reconciliation statement. Obviously, your uncredited check and unpresented checks will be affecting your bank reconciliation statement. Alright? Who is
Okay.
this person whining? I shop
Uh,
and nobody's here. Are we on the same page, please? Then this
alright, sir.
falsification too. This falsification too is affecting your bank reconciliation. Do you understand it to this extent?
I do.
Right? Then I've treated the distance. So all other items are going to be affecting my reconciliation because that is what I'm reconciling in the first instance. Are we on the same page, please?
Mm.
Are we on the same page, please? So we have
So
this.
sorry, sir. Please, so I want to know now
Yes.
why the standing order and the bank charge? Why are we putting them here? I know all this
The the
information when
the
we are.
the idea is that the idea for adjusted cash book is to adjust your cash book for everything that is in the bank statement but is not in your cash book. In reality, your bank statement should be the same with what you have in your cash book.
Yes, sir.
But when you have standing order, and standing order simply means you have given instruction to the bank to do a transaction, but you've not captured it. Like probably you want to make a consistent payment for 6 months, and you've given the bank an instruction to do that payment for the next 6 months. But in the course of the month, you didn't pick it in your cash book. That is a standing order. Like you've given them a lasting instruction to do a particular thing for you. Do you understand?
I
Hello?
do. What you're trying to say is that okay, fine. This standing order and bank charges are these are
They are already in
transactions
the they are already
executed
in the
by the
bank
bank.
statement. So I'm only trying to bring
But
what is
not
in the
in
bank
the-
statement into the cash book.
So that means what about uncredited checks now? Uncredited checks. This is
Uncredited
where
checks, uncredited checks are in the cash book already, but they are affecting, but they are not reflecting in your bank statement. Do you understand?
okay.
And unpresented checks too, they are already captured in your cash book, but they are not reflecting in your bank statement. That means you've given the bank an instruction to to credit or you've gotten a check, right? But and you've captured it in your cash book, but probably because of late submission, they were unable to capture that in the bank statement. So that's why you have uncredited checks and unpresented checks. Uncredited checks are already captured in your cash book, but not captured in your bank statement.
Okay. All right, sir.
Does it make sense to you?
Yes, sir.
So we have balance as per adjusted cash book. Are we on the same page?
So can someone, sorry, sir, can someone just say that okay, fine, those part of those items we add to our adjusted cash books are those transactions we do not have control over, since we
No,
do
that's
not
is that is
have
going
control.
to no, that's not the whole idea. The whole idea of adjusted cash book is what are the items you've already recorded that are already in your bank statement, right? But they are not reflecting in your cash book.
Okay.
Do you understand?
All right, sir.
Do you get the whole idea?
Yes, yes, I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. That's you are reconciling what you have in your bank statement. What are the items like standing order? You've given an instruction, but you failed to capture that instruction in your cash book.
Cash.
Do you understand? So now
Yes.
the B part, now prepare an appropriate reconciliation statement. So we have bank reconciliation statement, Abby. Then ended 31st December 2010. Please, you may need to pay attention. So you have balance as per cash book. How much is it? Figure me, please. That's as per adjusted cash book, sorry.
Hmm. 68055.
Right?
0.7.
Add unpresented checks.
Check.
Right? What is unpresented check? The unpresented
4,003
check is 4337.8, right?
point eight. Yes.
Are we on the same page?
So is that 0.8 or comma?
Yeah, is you know, all figures are in thousand.
Okay.
You get because all figures are
Okay.
in thousand.
Okay.
Let me show you. Right, so all figures are in thousand. Right, less uncredited checks. How much is the uncredited check? 6,900, Abby. Hello. B. Bola. Hello, please confirm that you can hear me.
Just now.
Okay. So we have 6,900. Are we on the same page?
We can't see a screen yet too. It's still loading.
Okay. Has it come up?
Yes, sir.
So expected balance as per bank statement. This is what this is what you are supposed to have in the bank statement. So that's 72,392,570 minus 6,900, right? But what is the bank balance? The bank balance, the bank balance as per question is how much?
339,560,600.
39560. So if the balance is there, it means that the total amount missing, right? Amount missing, or you may want to call it your cash shortage,
Ah,
is how much?
so your audio is okay.
65,000 minus, do you understand? You are doing 65, 493, 570 minus 39, 560. That's the cash shortage. But now we were told that, are we on the same page, please?
No, we are not on the same page, sir.
Which page are you, please?
Your audio is not super clear, so we can't even hear you.
So where was the last time you heard me clearly?
Bank balance as per question. Let's start from there.
Okay, the bank balance as per question is 39,560. So the cash shortage now, which is the difference between balance as per question and the expected balance as per bank statement, that is the cash shortage. So you have 65,493,570 minus
As per your
39.
speech is fast. Oh.
What do you say?
Your speech is very fast.
Okay,
It
expected
seems to touch something in your device or so. It's very fast.
expected balance as per bank statement is 65,473.57. But what we are given in the question as the bank balance statement is 39,560. So the difference is the cash shortage of 25,933. But are we on the same page? So invariably, this is the amount that was missing, 25,933.57. Do you understand?
Mm.
But now we were told that there was 1,370 prospective landowners deposited 10,000 each. So we have land owners contribution. They deposited how much? 10,000 each. So that's 10,000 times 1,370, right? And that's how much?
Oh.
Can you hear me? What's the issue?
Sir, your audio is not clear. I could not even get the two things we used to compare to get the missing amount. I
Okay,
didn't know
Yes.
you talked about our bank balance. Then the other one, I couldn't hear you. The audio is not clear at all.
I
As
was
it
saying
is
that,
now, Seb, this screen is just on one point. Like I'm not even seeing what you are doing.
Yes, but I think the thing is hanging also.
Yes.
okay, but okay, hold on, just a minute. Let me change my network. Just a second. Hello, is it better now?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good. So let me just start from this. For my bank reconciliation statement, what I did was get my balance as per adjusted cash book, 68,055.77. Then I added unpresented checks of 4,337.80. Then deducted the uncredited checks. So the amount I got was supposed to be my balance as per bank statement, right? But now in the question, they told us that the bank balance that they had was 39,560.6. Do you understand? So now that it's 39,560.6, it means that they've they have misappropriated some funds. So we have 25 million missing, or 25 million as the cash shortage. Or upon comparing our bank statement with our cash book. Do you understand what we have? Hello? Hello, please, did you get me to that extent? Okay, you know what? Let me just round up the class here. So we'll continue from here in the next class. I think that's better.
So is the next class online class or
The
physical?
next online class, I'll continue from where I stopped, or probably just start from the question afresh. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. You'll be starting the question from our freshness class.
Yes, I'll be starting the question from the afresh next class.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.